Got a great one for you. I want to start with scrimmage notes, as you guys are most probably looking forward to hearing today. Spoiler alert, it was a big find the depth day. I got intel on this prior to the scrimmage even started. Was asking around, hey, what are some questions you want answered tomorrow from people within the building? Almost to a man, the most common response was, we need to figure out the 2s and 3s. We feel like we kind of know what the starting units look like on both sides of these footballs. Saturday was about finding the depth on this roster. They had a good bit of healthy scratches is what I would call them. Dominic Lovett did not really participate. Trevor Etienne did not really participate. Tate Ratledge was even a limited participant in this scrimmage Saturday, I was told. Jared Wilson was back and healthy. That is good news, okay? He was one, like we talked about last week, was certainly a football player that needed reps because despite the fact that everyone wants to just go ahead and consider him a known commodity, it's a football player that hadn't played a lot of football, or at least a lot of highly competitive football. He's gotten tons of reps during practice. A very similar instance with KJ Bolden, right? True freshmen need as many reps as they could possibly get. He was sidelined a little bit last week during the scrimmage, or the first scrimmage. He was a participant in Saturday's scrimmage. Warren Brinson, however, was not, nor was Roderick Robinson, per my reports. Brinson obviously dealing with the Achilles tightness and believe soreness was the words that Kirby used, or maybe some bothersome whatever going on with his Achilles. Roderick Robinson's been dealing with a turf toe injury per my sourcing. Colby Young was out again for the second scrimmage, and boys, I don't know why. I haven't heard what the injury is there. Maybe there's some other reporting going on about that, but I haven't been able for the life of me to figure out what's going on with Colby Young. I know last spring during the spring it was an ankle.
Is it an injury where you're like, this could be something, or is this one of those Georgia's doing preventative maintenance type injuries, you think? So
here's what I know about this beat. If you're hurt, we know. That shit's getting broke. Because they ain't keeping it out. It's almost like they want it to be known too. They'll let those things out. If you're injured, we know. If you're hurt, we don't. If you have an ability to play through whatever you're dealing with, we don't know about those things. They're going to keep those things under wraps. If you have gone under surgery, or if you're going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, or if there's a timetable for your on the shelfness, those things are the ones we know about.
So this isn't a major red flag for
I don't believe
fans.
so.
Okay.
I think you're probably dealing with some type of ankle roll, some type of foot tightness, maybe some soft contact or some soft tissue. Maybe we got a hammy tightness. Maybe the lower back's a little bit tight. Whatever it is, this seems to be if we had to go tomorrow, he could go.
Okay.
Type of injury. Or else, again, we would know.
Second question I have on this is, do you think this is going to prolong him taking over at the X position, or is it going to put him back any, or is it one of those things where he'll be fine when he comes
Certainly
back?
Doesn't help. Okay, because the transition of, okay, Colby Young's going to be our X now, we can go back to Dylan doing what Dylan's doing, is based off of his ability to actually show up and do so in practice. Okay, but it's also due to the fact that he needs to catch up on the playbook. What better time to catch up on the playbook than when you're not practicing, or at least when you're not practicing when we're in full on-go periods. Sounded like it was a really clean scrimmage, okay? Not a lot of drops on the offensive side of the football, not a lot of busted assignments on the defensive side of the football, and not a lot of penalties. Kirby was pretty perturbed with the energy level of last practice. Not so much this practice. You know how I know? I was told, obviously scrimmage, we're going to tackle to the ground, we're going to bang, we're going to get out here, we're going to play with a lot of energy. There was a portion of Saturday scrimmage that got turned to a thud because MFers were hitting a little too hard.
Ooh, that's a good sign.
That's a great sign. Hey, hold on, boys. Hey, whoa. Easy.
And it's not oh shit, we just lost the starter.
Well, it was, oh shit, a guy just got his lights knocked out on the sideline. Hey, thud. We're thudding. Guy had to come back at a non-contact because you just saw him seeing Tweety Bird over there. Non-contact, let's thud up.
Love that.
That's good. That's a good, I know you might not say that, but I think that's a good sign.
And from my understanding, it was fresh off of, y'all some bitches ain't practicing today. Whoa. Y'all need to chill out
Don't
today.
Practice so much.
Yeah, y'all need to chill today.
That sounds like one of those lead with actions type of moments.
Yeah. One of those ask for forgiveness type of deals on the defensive side of football.
What was the Mike Tomlin quote? I would rather say whoa than sick 'em.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's your perfect example.
If you had to pick of a wide receiver that came out of nowhere and had a massive day on Saturday, who would you pick?
It's
Michael Jackson.
No.
It's a.
Think more off the wall.
I'm either going Cole Spear or London Humphreys.
How about that Cole Spear?
Ooh.
How about that Cole Spear making plays? How about Cole Spear explosive plays? How about Cole Spear one-handed catch? How about Cole Spear 2-minute drill dynamicism?
Are we buying the Cole Spear stock?
I'm not. I'm buying the Cole. I'm buying the Cole Spear had a great day when we were featuring who's going to be the twos. I love Cole Spear. Love Cole Spear. Cole Spear, great. Cole Spear practices hard. Cole Spear, bullet on special teams. Cole Spear, we're like the 6th, 7th, 8th best receiver on this roster. Let's hold off on the Cole Spear. But Cole Spear, great day. Cole Spear, great day. Cole Spear also going to have former football players that are up there and booster people being like, you see that 84 out there, 83, whatever. Man, you know who he remind me of?
Lad
McConkey. Just waiting for some Cole Spear. Real lunch pail guys, the chat's already pointing
So,
out.
in other words, like if it was UT Martin week 1 this year, it might have earned himself a couple reps.
Oh, yeah, bro. Fear the Spear. Ain't no doubt about that one. Cole Spear, great day. Nitro Tuggle made a big play to end the day as well, I was told. Little one-hand snazzaroo during 2-minute drill. Rotations at corner continued, I was told. And we'll get into this as we get into position battles, but I don't know what to do with the corner intel. You get like Ellis is great, which everyone's going to go watch Georgia practice the next 3 years. People are going to tell you how great Ellis Robinson is. But the feedback on, hey, so-and-so starting today, it changes the next day. And I don't have any clarity right now at corner.
Is it fair to say this is a question that's not even going to be answered after week 1? Because you'd have to imagine they're going to rotate these guys similarly. Like, okay, Julian Humphrey's going to get some reps. Daniel Harris is going to get some reps here. They're even going to throw Ellis Robinson in some situations. Like, there's not going to be a clear and cut. I think we all can assume Dalen Everett's one of the guys on the position.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's going to be a clear cut opposite guy after Clemson. Like, maybe someone makes a play and they go, okay, this is the guy we're going to go with until then. But I don't think you're going to come out week 1 against Clemson and by the end of the first half go, okay, so they went with this guy, it seems.
We felt like we did after Clemson in 2021.
Yeah.
Like leaving that football game, all right, they've given up on the Amir Speed.
Well, Amir Speed was Oregon year.
No.
No,
him and Keely Ringo rotated.
Keely and
Clemson
Kamari Lassiter were starters for that.
That's
That was the
That's right. That's
that
right.
was the game where they kept
they
Kamari.
flipped fields against Oregon. Keely and Kamari. Chat asking about Quintavious Johnson. Quintavious Johnson had a good day, as did Joseph Jonah Ajonye, as did some other young defensive players, the young linebackers as well. Like I say, it was a very young-oriented scrimmage. So you're going to see guys like I guarantee you right now, I know why Quintavious Johnson and Joseph Jonah Ajonye were absolutely eating on Saturday. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because they were probably going against the Threes offensive line, if I had to bet. Which the Threes on the defensive side of the football on the line of scrimmage, elite. Really, really good football players. You might have a few preferred walk-ons or walk-ons on that 3 deep on the offensive line at this point. Because you're talking about 15 SEC caliber offensive linemen, probably not.
Yeah.
Do you have 9 right now? Yes. Do you have 15? Probably not. That's a lot. Do you have 12 Division I SEC football players on the defensive line? Yeah, you got that.
Plus, I would imagine, too, being a young defensive lineman, that's a lot easier to go out and do really well in a practice. Because, even if you don't have a grasp of what you're supposed to be doing,
play fast.
Yeah, just play fast. Where if offensive line, there's a lot of things that could go wrong for you if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing.
Sources continue to be really impressed at where Branson Robinson is, particularly with sources that were in or around the building during the offseason, like in January, February, March. Because in that time period, things were not looking great for Branson Robinson's rehab process. You know, nowadays, it's not just, hey, how you feel. Nowadays, they can put certain machines on you and kind of judge the strength of particular ligaments or judge where you are in your rehab process. And it did not look like early on in this rehab process that Branson was going to come back like he is right now. It looked like he was going to make a full recovery like they always do, but it did not look like he was going to make a full recovery by early August. And that's exactly what it sounds like has happened. Branson had a really good spring or a really good fall camp and a really good scrimmage on Saturday.
Was there something specific that changed? Like, have they revealed what, or is it just,
No.
started healing better and things like that?
Yeah, I think with especially, I don't know the full details of that injury, but he tore his PCL and his ACL.
Yeah.
If you remember.
Wasn't his patellar too?
Yeah, dude, it was a big one. It was a big injury. And I think maybe the regenerative process of those ligaments didn't start accelerating until a certain time period. It's like a delay in the response, essentially, from the body. But
they don't get a lot of blood flow, so.
I've always been told that your rehab process with knees will be directly correlative to your quad strength, because if your quads and your hamstrings are really, really strong, they lessen the burden put on those ligaments because the muscles around them are much, much stronger. Branson, pretty notorious strong quads.
Yeah, I think he's doing all right in that department.
I think he's doing well in the I'd be squatting weight.
Do we know what his squat max was?
Oh, he's got to be north of 6. I think there's video of him in high school squatting 600 pounds. Dude, he was an Olympic state weightlifting champion in Mississippi. I'm talking
country strong,
1,300 pound club. I'm pretty sure. Where he's squatting 6, benching 4, cleaning 4. Yeah, will you look that up for me? Branson Robinson weightlifting numbers.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure he was a 1,300 guy in high school.
That's just another example of God did.
Yeah, God did. What do you got for me?
Bench press well over 400 pounds, a 600 plus pound squat, and a 715 pound deadlift.
Okay. How's that
so we're dead. You can go ahead and assume he's 315 plus on the power.
Yeah.
On the power clean.
Easily.
So 1,300 pounds, like I said. Mm-hmm. Hey, you lift weights, you play running back, you Nick Chubb.
Amen. You mentioned some injuries on the defensive line. Who kind of steps up in those roles? Who's the next guy up? Warren Brinson kind of still dealing with his injury. Who gets plugged in there? Interior defensive line. Who are the guys that are kind of being called upon?
Yeah, so let's talk injuries first. Warren Brinson, the Achilles. Jordan Hall still out with the fibula hairline fracture. Xavier McLeod did not practice on Saturday either. Which was interesting to hear. So don't quite know what McLeod's injury is. I was told there was no noticeable limp, there was no signs of what it obviously was. So we'll be interested to see what happens there. But outside of that, you're looking at Nas Stackhouse and Kristen Miller being your quote unquote starters right now. And this is a huge first 5 weeks for Kristen Miller. When everyone else is still getting healthy and when everyone else is still rehabbing and all that stuff, you have a chance to get off to a hot start and kind of earn and hold on to your place as that defensive tackle. Those two guys, and then after that, it's immediate young depth with inexperience. Guys like Jaw Jarrett are going to have to play a lot of snaps as long as McLeod's not, until McLeod gets healthy, until Hall gets healthy, until Warren Brinson gets healthy. Jordan Thomas, also a really big body that they feel I would imagine they can survive with right now. And just in terms of interior defensive linemen, I see the chat talking about Tyrion Ingram Dawkins. He's a defensive end. He doesn't necessarily fit this mold for interior defensive line.
Gotcha.
So it sounds like, just by relation of injuries, this is probably a position they're most worried about heading into week 1. Is that fair to say?
In terms
not
of
because of I'm not saying skill set. I'm not throwing the position group under the bus, but it's a bang. Last year, this was the running back room.
Yeah, and by the way, I think fully healthy, this room still has questions.
Yeah.
If Warren Brinson and Jordan Hall were 100% healthy right now, if Xavier McLeod were 100% healthy right now, we're still looking at this defense and going, hey, interior defensive line, going to have to prove that you got dudes, because we know you got dudes everywhere else. So it would have been one of these quote-unquote questions still remaining leaving fall camp.
Do you think it's a question that gets answered come week 1, or are we still going to have to maybe the idea of, this person wasn't a full go yet, or we didn't get to see a good look at so-and-so?
I don't think our answer from a national perspective and from an obvious, clear as day, there's the answer. I don't think that happens until one of those individuals flashes. Real high-end traits and real disruptiveness. And I truly do believe it's almost like the Oscar Delp discussion that we continue to have on this channel about, hey man, if 4 or 5 of those missed deep balls get hit, it's a totally different discussion. 4 or 5 of those, damn Warren, if you just fell on the guy, you might have a sack. Or damn Warren, if you just stuck your arm out, you might have had a TFL. Or damn Warren, if you just would have unzipped your feet, you would have had another sack. 4 or 5 of those damn Warrens change around. Warren Brinson's field going into the season is completely different.